Hello, beautiful soul. I'm Vicki Howie of ChakraBoosters.com, the creator of Chakra Boosters Healing Tattoos. And today I'm coming to you from beautiful Mount Tabor Reservoir and Park. The reservoir, you can see a little water behind me, in Portland, Oregon. And I'm excited because it's a beautiful sunny day, which is not always the norm in Portland. I've been really lucky with the weather. I'm on a road trip and it's been beautiful, beautiful weather. But it's a beautiful sunny day and we're moving into Leo energy. I'm going to do the forecast for you today for August 2019. This is your energy forecast. We had a lot of really sort of, challenging is the best word I can use, stuff in the last cycle. I found it to be exciting, and it was. I don't know about you, but I had some major shifts in my life and some major breakthroughs, and it was just really enlightening, bringing back parts of myself. Anyway, I'll share more of that in future videos, but right now I want to talk about the energies for August, and I want to start by anchoring, if you didn't see the one for July, because I feel like our tribe is now just really, we're growing and expanding, and more love and opportunities are coming up. I'm just getting more excited with every single one of these energy forecasts. So if you didn't see July, watch it. You might even watch it again anyway to just remind yourself, because we're picking up from there. And what I said was so true. And the vision I kept getting was of going into the underworld on like the here. I had two visions actually that are going to continue, but they're going to move on now in August, the next month, which is this month. Because I'm now recording this just a little before August, but now hopefully you're watching this in August, and we're already feeling the beautiful energy of Leo, the warmth of the sun, the warmth of the heart, and we've already left behind most of Mercury retrograde. We're in a shadow phase through August 15th, but for me, I'm a strong energy person. I feel energy a lot, and when Mercury goes fully into retrograde and fully direct, I feel the biggest shifts. Like the shadow periods are there, but they don't affect me as much. So I'm definitely one who gets very affected by the actual retrograde and direct. So we'll talk about that, because this month is direct, whereas last month was 3/4 of the month, 3 weeks of the month were in Mercury retrograde, which was perfect, right? The two analogies I brought to you was, one, you being the hero, right? The Leo, the shining star in your own story, and going into having the test. It's kind of like before the hero can be the hero at the end and have his or her victory, there's always this harrowing point where they have to go into the underground, or Campbell said, into the cave. So I said that was last month. And for me, it was phenomenal doing that. Phenomenal. I found things that I left 20 years ago. I shifted some really big things. What did you discover when you were in your underground, when you were looking at your patterns, when you were in that Mercury retrograde phase of really saying, enough, no more. Let me actually take the time to analyze what's been going on karmically, what's going on in my habitual patterns of my body, and let me make some shifts. Let me bring some light, bring some awareness. So first we have to go down there to get them. And the second image that I gave you was that you were pregnant with yourself. And I said you were birthing a new you. Well, you actually are going to birth yourself, or if I kind of feel like I just about birthed myself last month, and this is more like the coming out month. August is the coming out month where we take action. It's sort of like the baptism, you know, where the child is like, okay, everyone, this child is here. This child is a being of light and spirit, and you get to all gather around this child and see him or her. So you're the child being born. Last month was going into the underground. Can you hear the bird that's really underlying this? Last month was going into the underground. So we can shake that off a little bit, but it's not a negative thing. We wouldn't want to take away, even louder underlines, right? It's not a negative thing. We wouldn't want to take away from these challenges, because always the challenges grow us. I just was shown a vision of how when the butterfly works its way out of the cocoon, of course the caterpillar, who's now a butterfly, works its way out of the cocoon. If someone cuts it free, it doesn't get to have the muscles in its wings to fly. It can't be set free through external circumstances. It has to work its way out of the cocoon. So that's the bold-hearted action we want this month. And we're going to continue this image of you're birthing yourself, but now it's like the coming out portion. You're either going to birth yourself really early in the month, or you birthed yourself already in July, and now it's about actually claiming your space and saying, ta-da, I'm here. This is a big Leo light that's showing up. Also, as far as the underworld goes, it's about claiming that you went there, that you actually went down into the bowels of, some people say hell, and that you went and you looked at things and you mucked around down there, and you had challenges and there were shadows and perhaps scary things, but you're back and you're stronger for it. You're always stronger. Every time the hero and heroine go into the underworld, they come out stronger with some kind of superpowers, with some kind of insight. So what are you bringing forth in this month? In 2010, I was greatly affected by something, and I'll try not to diverge too much because this affected me so much. I was affected by the situation where the Chilean miners, 33 of them, were down underground, caught for 69 days. Now 33 is symbolic of the ultimate creative number and the solar plexus energy again. 3-3, double solar plexus energy. And the third eye, because it's also the 6th. 3 and 3 is 6. So I won't go into that in too much detail, but just trust me. I think I'm going to do a video on that one day, because for me that was the turning point of us moving into a real tantric period of spirituality, and it continued to turn even more in 2012, because we now are ascended enough on this planet that we can actually go into our lower chakras. We can go in and discover things. We can burrow deep within ourselves and be deep in our family situations and deep in our home and our job and in these things and still be fully enlightened, which wasn't so possible before. And this is symbolized, there's so much there's incredible great symbolism with the Chilean situation, and do comment if you want me to do a video on that, because the colors were there, oh my goodness, it was so much symbolism. But the point I want to make here is that my guides keep showing me this as I was prepping to do this video for you. They kept showing me a full numerological cycle ago, 2010, the Chilean miners being rescued and them being so patient down there for 69 days, and the teamwork down there, but most importantly, how they brought up rocks. So they brought up gifts. They brought up these gifts, and they had the red hats, root chakra, right? The miners had the red hats. They were way down in the earth. Literally, they had the red hats. And they came up, and the rescuers had white hats. Most of them had white hats. And they came up, and they gave the rescuers, so white is the spiritual, the crown energy, red is the earth energy. Those that had been deep down in the earth, they brought up these rocks that they got from the deepest bowels of the earth, and they gave them as gifts to the ones above ground, the white hats that rescued them. I want you to feel into that symbolism, because last month you were digging, and you might even dig a little more this month if you just want to finish up. But mostly this is a celebratory month, so it's not so much about the digging, but looking at what you got, because you might not even be aware of what you got, because when you got it last month, when you were in Mercury retrograde, you were a bit in the dark. But now as the light comes, you can actually open the bag of what you got out during Mercury retrograde. I'm really liking the symbolism that my guides are showing me for this. You can open the bag and you can look at it, and you may have diamonds and gems and just wonderful things. And remember, if your bag has a lot of coal in it, well, coal is just diamonds in the rough, right? Put enough pressure on coal and you get diamonds. So let's not judge what's in these bags. Let's just celebrate what we unearthed. So August is a month of mining the gems and even looking at things that you didn't realize were gems about you. Because remember, in the hero's journey, not only do we go into the underworld, but we also take our weaknesses and get a triumph out of them. It's the shaman's journey too. We, whatever is our illness, our sickness, our weakness, we overcome it, and then we help others to do the same. That's part of the shaman's journey. And if you're watching this, I'm betting you're a healer, shaman, big-hearted one, a big-hearted spirit. So That's the journey this month, bringing light to everything that came up last month. And it's not about digging at all. It's just about celebrating. Just celebrate, shine light, and see what's there. The digging was in July, and the ahas were mostly in July. The only ahas you'll have now are ahas of positivity, of light, of love, that are like, wow, I wasn't looking at this when I was in the dark. I didn't see all of its possibilities. Does that make sense? So I really want to bring that home, okay? And we have these great symbols now of baptizing after birth and being fully in the light now. We made it through the underworld. We are like the miners. We've come out of the captivity. We've been rescued by our own divine light, which is going to take me right now into this month, because just as last month had some pretty challenging and harrowing alignments in it, this month has some pretty benevolent ones, some pretty auspicious ones. In fact, one ridiculously auspicious one on the 8th of August. So let's talk about what's going on astrologically, especially, you know, I do moon. I look at the lunation, because lunation is about the feminine, and lunation allows us, when we look at the new moon and the full moon, the new moon lets us set intentions that will then manifest over the next couple weeks till the full moon, and also over the next 6 months. And if you want, you can keep looking at longer cycles than that, but those are the two that you can really work with. And on July, I'm actually have posted this video early enough for you to get it in July, because July 31st in my part of the world, the Pacific time, it's we get a new moon in Leo, the bright, loving energy of Leo, on at 8:11 p.m. That's in a really cool way. I love this. If you're in New York, if you're on the eastern seaboard, or anywhere actually in the eastern time zone in the US, it's 11:11. How's that? Beautiful. 11:11 shows you the auspicious energy of this Leo full moon. Now, I want to say something about Leo. This is a month where we've got a lot of, last month it was water fire, creating steam. And there was also earth that I didn't really bring up as much, because obviously when you go into the underworld, there's a lot of earth. So where there was this earth and darkness and shadow that was calling us. And earth is also your history, right? Your past, your memories, and that was calling us. So we had a water fire with some earth seeking last month, and this month it's all about heart and solar plexus. It's all about fire and air, because the heart is air, but in a really, really good way, because a lot of times we think of the solar plexus and we get freaked out, like the solar plexus is the ego, the solar plexus is narcissism and being mean and controlling others, and we get all freaked out about the shadow aspects. But mind you, this is Leo energy. And Leo the lion is the courageous, big-hearted one. So this is lots of fire, but tons of heart. So you can be okay to go into your light, to be seen, to go into your fire, to really shine your generous and courageous heart. In fact, the word cœur in French means heart. So courageous came from being big-hearted, and we've got to stop using this word in a way that makes it seem like it doesn't have heart, because it really, really does, and Leo is the example. So we're gonna have all kinds of heart. So on July 31st in Pacific time, but in most of the world, on August 1st, we have a new moon in Leo, and this is just like a yay! This is where we take those rocks from July and we look at them, we put them in the light of day, and we celebrate our own spirit, our own being here. Now, normally, you know, in a new moon, we set intentions. With this moon, I got very, very clear instructions from my guides to tell you not to set intentions, but start actions, because there's nothing more active than Leo fire energy. It acts out of service and love and generosity and loyalty and community. It's loving, and at the same time it's courageous. It's the lion. It goes for it. You have the lion in Wizard of Oz that didn't go for it as much, right? And that's kind of the fear in our society, that if we're too good-hearted, we get too timid and we get like Dorothy's lion, right? But even he got his courage up, right? Even he showed his courage. So this month, when it's all about creating action steps. And while you really want to set this time aside on the 1st, wherever you are in the planet, just do a progressive time from 8/11 Pacific time into August 1st, whatever time it is for you. You may even want to get up early in the morning or the middle of the night and make a promise to yourself, set an intention, and even take an action. Mail a letter, send out a bold email, you know what I mean? Do something that just says, I'm here, life, I'm here. And I've been shown that if it can be around something that you're re-owning, a part of yourself that you're re-owning, that has to do with what we excavated in July. Can you feel that? What parts of yourself have you been excavating? For me, I had a love of acting and writing, and I've been excavating that and pulling that back up. And it's been so exciting and so invigorating. So what invigorates you? Okay, isn't it perfect? I'm doing this with so much sun that I'm sweating, and I'm in Portland. Okay, so new moon, we got that? New moon in Leo. Now, August 8th, 8/8. I love 8/8. I love 8. 8 is the infinity and also manifestation number in numerology. For me, it's also the second time around on the root. So it's the higher version of root, the healer root, the master business person, the master shaman. So if 8's your destiny, woo, 8/8 should be pretty amazing. But it's actually amazing for everyone who is aware of it. And if you're watching this, share this video with others. Tell them about the Lionsgate portal on 8/8, because we've really been focusing on it as a spiritual community in just the entire movement online over the last few years, and it seems to be growing in energy. What is the Lionsgate portal? Well, first of all, it has super strong numerological. You see, all these things mask. Astrology always crosses over with numerology, always crosses over with chakras. They never contradict. They always cross over because they represent the one consciousness. So it's no surprise that 8/8, which is power, whew, is the Lionsgate portal, which is a time when Sirius A, the brightest star, you are the symbolism here, you are the bright star. Sirius A, our brightest star, is in alignment with the sun and also with Earth. And these three just create a combustible power that you can feel. It's palpable. Now there's a time when they're coming toward alignment and you'll feel it then perhaps, but 8/8 is the time to celebrate it and to celebrate the bright star that you are. It will create literally some openings energetically, if you'd like, certainly solar plexus activation, third eye activation. Solar plexus and third eye are so these are the two that are really going to get activated if you want to pay attention to them and if you actually want to do a ritual to help activate them. I myself made a plan where I ended up where I was acting for the first time in over, I don't even know the exact time, but it's well over 20 years. It was before 2000. And it's the first time I'm acting right on that date. I set that date. It was so funny because I said it with someone casually, didn't even think about it. And then later it hit me, oh my goodness, that is the Lionsgate portal. So what are you doing for the Lionsgate portal? For me, it feels absolutely spectacular and powerful, and I want you to make the most of it. And you can look that up online to maybe find some more videos on it so you can know more about it. Supposedly, it also has to do with the pyramid, Giza pyramid, and some say the Sphinx as well, but that when these three align, it lights up that pyramid or it makes a direct line to that pyramid. But we all know this. We're feeling it every year at 8/8. It's a portal for bigness in a way that you don't have to shy from. It's your authentic self. It's big-hearted. It's courageous in a loving way to serve others and the community and the generosity of Leo heart. Okay, so don't shy from 8/8. You got that? So we've got July 31st, August 1 for the new moon in Leo. Then we've got supercharged Leo energy in the Lionsgate portal on 8/8. And then we're moving toward a really interesting twist because we had a lot of twists last month. But in the middle of the month, August 15th, at 5:29 p.m. Pacific, a.m. Pacific, 5:29 a.m. Pacific, you can change it for your time zone, but that's in Pacific. We're going to have an Aquarius full moon. So Aquarius loves innovation and surprise and technology, and just anything could happen. The things that could manifest, especially depending on what you set on the new moon and what you set forth on the Lionsgate portal, could happen. And I say, go for your biggest dreams. Remember, I was going to say figure out, but really the better word is remember what you came here to do. Remember what matters to you. Childhood things, like really truly dive into those things that give you passion, and you might find some fruition, because again, full moon is fruition, that full, it's like a peach that wants to be picked, right, is going to be happening on the 15th. So look then and just see how your intentions from the 1st and the 8th are moving along on the 15th. And be ready for absolutely anything. Be open for the bigness of anything this time around. Okay, what else is going on? We also have a new moon again. So we have 2 moons in this month. I understand that those in the US, we're just narrowly getting it into July, but I'm including it here because it's so on that border and is on the 1st for most of the world. So for most of the world, we've got, and even I'm feeling the same way, we've got 2 new moons, which to me says Leo is opportunity. New moons are opportunity. When the sun and the moon are together, you have that masculine feminine balance, and you have, I think of it this way, I'd never had quite thought of it this way, but my guide showed me this to share with you, is that the moon and sun are together in a new moon. Well, the moon is the egg and the sun is the sperm, and they are coming together right at that time. And so it's new creation. Feel it, see it. Really let that inform your way of being and what you set out to do, because we're not messing around with this energy. It's very real on the new moons. What is the new moon on the 30th of July? We've got Virgo new moon. Now, I really think this is good, because the way I see the energy, and I'll go over this a little more, but the way I see this energy for this month is a lot of action and celebration and bigness and social, also social and love and connection situations. And I feel like we can use that grounding near the end of the month. We can use that Virgo logic, that Virgo home base, that Virgo earth. So think going more toward rooting in earth after you just spread your arms and embrace the big star that you are throughout August. As fall comes, we'll start to go toward that Virgo energy. So on the 30th, think about intentions toward home, toward getting your feet back on the ground if there was lots of celebration and fun times in August, which there probably will be. And, you know, you may have moved forward on quite a few things, energetically courageous things, but now get the plan behind them. Like, make some intentions on the 30th to fill in the blanks. If you started some actions under the Leo new moon, under the portal's gate, the Lionsgate portal, under all that was just kind of swirling and exciting about August, use July 30th to ground again. And what you started, if you started it with zest and a feeling of excitement in August, it's real. So I don't want you to steer away from that, okay? Don't get to the Virgo new moon and go, oh, that's unrealistic, or don't let yourself do that. My guides are saying, warn them, warn them. Do not let a Virgo new moon bring you so earthy that you become the parent or the overly strict disciplinarian that says, oh, that's just a dream. No, don't be that. That's like the child's movie where we're all like, I don't like that figure. I don't like that adult character that's the dream stealer. Don't be the dream stealer. Be the dream filler. So fill in at that point when you get to the Virgo new moon. It's time to fill in. Is there anything missing in the bigness of the Leo energy, the generosity of it, the socialness of it, in all that energy? Did you not take care of some basic things about this new path that you're on? This is when you do it. You start to fill it in with the Virgo new moon, and you make some very realistic goals, and it's not really even goals, because the goals, when you're riding a passion, the goals pretty much take care of themselves. You don't really need goals. Goals are like something you need more when you don't have as much of a passion, or if you're in a really competitive situation that has a passion, like in the Olympics or something. You need goals because you just can't take your eyes off the prize, because it requires that high of level of performance. Okay, but for most of us, what I'm talking about is a really fun, generous, loving, who am I? How do I express myself? What is my spirit? What am I here to do? Kind of energy in August. So that's not going to require so much goals, as it's going to require foundation. And at the end of the month, that's a key time to look at what you've started in August and say, what else do I need here foundationally? So you're going to literally build it under it. Like come along and go, okay, I realize that this house, I built it like a house, like a tree house. It's kind of off the ground, and it's fun, it's exciting, it's up in the air, and I love it. But now I'm going to go back and make sure I have a really strong ladder, and there's a foundation, and I'm in strong enough trees. Otherwise, I'm going to put up some foundational 4x4s. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what we have for the new moon in Virgo. Okay, let's talk about some overall themes here. I think I've pretty much covered them. You can tell I'm super excited about this Leo energy, the Lionsgate portal of ascension, really in a healthy way being in your solar plexus. So if you're using my chakra tattoos, heart and solar plexus might help even really open you up for the Lionsgate portal. And as we move toward Virgo, using more of the root chakra, unless you are already super, super rooted, or you tend toward depression, in which case you wouldn't use the root chakra. Okay, so this month's energy is very much about you finally showing yourself. You're coming out. This is like your coming out ball for who you really are, for what you're really passionate about, and from a place of generously loving yourself and generously serving others. Because when we are ourselves, we serve each other, we serve others just in being who we are. You know, that friend that's just has always been him or herself so much that you're around him or her, and you feel the love, you feel the authenticity, and it just fills your being, and you become an overflow of that. Well, we all have an opportunity to up that game, to become more of that part of ourselves. And it's interesting because you can't see it, I don't think, but as I'm doing this video, all around me are these little flowers. They're like really beautiful dandelions. They're not rough ones, they're delicate dandelions. And they look almost like daisies, like someone crossed a daisy with a dandelion, and they're pure yellow. And if you see my eyes kept looking down, it's because I can't take my eyes off these beautiful yellow flowers. I think I'll take a picture of one so I can hopefully cut one in for you, a still shot, so you can see them, or some video of them that I'll cut into this point. But they are just gorgeous. And this is what I feel about us, about our tribe. This is us this month. All of these yellow flowers, we're all blossoming in our own unique, beautiful way. We're literally reaching, every one of these flowers is reaching for the sun. They're not like the dandelions that are close to the ground. They've got longer stems, and you can literally see them bending and growing and reaching toward the sun. That's what you're doing this month. Go for it. Your deepest dream. Surprise yourself. We've got some Uranus, some people say Uranus. We've got some Uranus energy that's really shaking things up. We've got an Aquarius, a new moon that's shaking things up. So we're not completely done with the surprises. Oh, and I wanted to say one other thing though. We don't need to be afraid of these shakeups. Last month, in July, in the middle of all that Mercury retrograde, or actually near the beginning of the Mercury retrograde stuff, I think I was in Europe at the time, but I got notice that California was having a whole lot of earthquakes. And I really worried for a moment because I have a lot of friends in California. And then I realized that the epicenter was far enough away from LA area that it really did like almost no damage. I mean, compared to what it could have done. There were these bigger earthquakes that weren't doing any damage. And I thought, what great symbolism, especially in retrospect now, looking back at the month. For me, my month was shaken up, even though I was in Europe. My month was shaken up tremendously in the most beautiful way, right from the beginning of July. And I changed so many things in my life, and I'll share more of that with you later. But basically, the shakeup was, it was like a false earthquake in that there was nothing, no damage, nothing to be afraid of. And that's what I feel really was happening mostly in July. It was just, it's good stuff, good shakeup. And I think it's going to continue the tiniest bit in August, but now it's going to look like surprise. It's not going to look like, because in the LA quakes, there was lots and lots and lots of little aftershocks because it just kept going and going. It's not going to be that way, I don't think, this month. I think it's going to be more like big surprises. If you set out to go after things that you know are true in your heart, your deepest dreams, and you're courageous, Leo, lion, courage, out there in the world, then you're gonna see some real amazing changes. And you know what? My changes for me weren't so much about the way the world received me. Those weren't the changes I received. The changes I received were how the courageous, bold moves I made in July, the courageous things I did. So I was already shaking things up in July, and I know I'm going to continue to do so. In fact, the things that I started in July, or that I set up in July, actually begin in August, which is really good, right? Because it's a whole new beginning with a new moon on the 1st. Also, I forgot to mention, Mercury goes direct on the 1st. I did say shadow goes to the 15th. I think I mentioned that. But Mercury goes direct on the 1st in some parts of the world the 2nd of August. So you will feel some relief there too. What do you want to do? Celebrate. And we're not talking about frivolous celebration, although it is summer in my part of the world. We're not talking about frivolous celebration. We're talking about really, it'll be big and large. And it's so funny because right now I have a group, I don't know if you can hear them, but it's like students, and they're off to the side here, and they're like cheering a little bit and talking, and they're getting more and more excited, and they're super social. And just as the flowers around me are showing me each one of you individually blossoming in August, this group, as soon as I mentioned them, they got quiet. This group, as they got louder and louder as I was talking about this socialness, this social aspect of Leo, and I just love that. So it's a deep kind of social. It's a deep kind of where you're with loved ones, where it's meaningful, and it's a deep kind of celebration. It's not just the celebration where you try to get away from things like, oh, I'm just having a vacation. No, it's a celebration of life itself. That's what pretty much all of August can be. Welcome the surprises, the twists and the turns, and not only welcome them, but create some of them. Be the one to actually put them down. And then when we get to that new moon, did I tell you the time of Virgo? I believe it is, I'll put it on here, it's 3:38 a.m. Pacific on the 30th of July. That's the Virgo new moon. When we get to that one, then I want you to start to build the foundation that might not be there under this dream that you're building. We're dream building, celebrating, and shining bright this month. Can you do that for me? I know you can. I love you so much, and I'm so happy that you are part of my tribe. Please like this video and share it, share it, share it. Let's get this positive energy out there. This is going to be an amazing month, and this also is going to help us make sense of a lot of what happened last month and what's been happening for the last 6 to 9 months too, because we're birthing something that we've been working on and we're baptizing it now. We're literally turning into little moving babies now. So share, enjoy, have a wonderful, wonderful August. I love you, and I wish you many, many blessings.